Shalom. First of all, I'm going to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the bishops here at Great Millstone who rule and who teach well. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect. To the Akim out there in the highways and byways, making their bodies a living sacrifice as the scriptures ordain you to do so. I want to say shalom to you mighty brothers as well. Continue to fight the good fight of faith and continue to spread the good news, which is the gospel, spread it across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you, mighty brothers. Shalom to the Akwaf, the sisters out there listening and learning in silence, reverencing your husbands if you have one, seeing you too have to fight the good fight of faith, to stay in order, under subjection of your husbands to the best of your ability, in a time where it is not popular to do so. Seeing that these times are going to get more perilous, more difficult, and dangerous. And in these dangerous times, the Lord is going to make a man more precious than fine gold in these times. Okay? When you go into that word precious, it goes into valuable, which means we're going to be the true high value men upon the face of the earth. Lord willing, we be those men when the tables turn and the momentum shifts. And the true value will be wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and fear of the Lord. And above all, having faith in Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. Okay? Shalom. Shalom to you believers out there who do believe, but is not out there on the highways and byways. But you are supporting the ministry in your way, in any way, giving the ministry food, clothing, shelter, water, whatever it may be, whatever the lot the Lord got you in to assist, may the Lord have you receive a prophet's reward as well. Okay? But this particular video not going to be long, but I just wanted to go into, the title is Things to Come, Lord Mighty, man, because he always put, his people on game, or his men on game, all right, or those who are sincere, on game about what was to come, man. And what I'm about to read to you, really, in Luke 21, I believe starting in verse 1, it goes into, the inquiry, or they're inquiring about, the one was talking about the mite, I believe, the woman and the widow and her mite. But it's gonna go into that temple being thrown down. Shai said, "Hey, you're not gonna see that temple, man." Which really, hey, we're the temple, man. So the Lord, He could prophesy about something, and it can be that took place already, but we can still take that prophecy, for these end time prophecies, man, because this prophecy, I believe, was going into the temple being thrown down, where the Lord was saying, hey, man, look here, man, hey, you're not going to see one stone left, every stone pretty much is going to be thrown down, you see. But the Lord right now is building up a new temple, and that temple is, this spiritual house that he's building where he dwells. And that spiritual house is each and every one of you believers, man. The 144,000 elect and the 1/3, who believe on Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai, man. All right, who the world ignorant calls God and Jesus Christ. Okay. So that can apply for these times as well, too. You see? Because right now we're in the end to where the enemy is going to come down like, as a flood, man. All right? He's going to come down with great wrath. And he, too, is going to try to destroy your temple, all right? Or the temple of the Lord once again, all right? And trotting down the temple of the Lord once again, this time with that MOTB, man. Okay. This time with that MOTB, where he's going to try to insert, all right, his likeness into you through digital technology, all right, through his AI, through his lying wonders, as the book of Thessalonians speaks of. Okay. So that's why we use these, certain scriptures. Even I just wanted to give you a background and let you know, okay, yeah, this was talking about the temple, but spiritually we are this Lord's temple, man. All right. In fact, let's prove that right quick before we start. We can prove that in 1 Peter. The temple is a house, man. Let me get that in 1 Peter right quick. Is that 1 Peter 2? Or is it? No, I think it's 2. 2 and 5, something like that. Yep. This is 1 Peter chapter 2. Starting at verse 4, as you can see right here, it says as lively stones, correct? And it says, to whom coming unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, it says, but chosen of the Most High power and precious. Like I always say, man, we go into the word precious, it goes into valuable, man. And everyone that the Lord chose, to wake up to this truth, and the Lord, predestined, for salvation, is a stone, to the building of the temple, man. All right. The scriptures say, man, the kingdom of heaven is within you, man. All right. And inside that temple, man, the Lord dwells, man. All right. This is why it's so important to believe in Yahweh Shai, man. Because Yahweh Shai is that entryway into the temple, man. For the Lord to open up our minds to the understanding, to these prophecies, man, on what's to come. All right. But it says, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house. You see that? Okay. So they'll never be able to tear this temple down, man. You see what I'm saying? That the Lord is building this time. Why? Because it's a spiritual temple, man. All right. Then when the Lord destroyed this place, then the Lord is going to set us back in our own land and gather us across the four corners of the earth, man, and set us back in our own land. All right. And guess what, man? Those who tore down our temple, guess what? They're going to assist. They're going to build our temple back up, man. They're going to build our ruined places, man. Why? Because they tore it down. It says, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices. And that spiritual sacrifice is yourself. Okay. That spiritual sacrifice is yourself, man. What's that? Romans chapter 12, starting at verse 1, which is a reasonable sacrifice, man. Okay. It says acceptable to the Most High power by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right. And we are that temple, man. Okay. And you know anything about the ancient temple, man, that's where, the priests went in to, to offer up the sacrifices, man. All right. But we are now a nation of kings and priests, man. Okay. So now the Lord, dwells within us, man. All right. And while, the heathen is, running around trying to, build that third temple over there in the land that's not theirs. You see what I'm saying? They didn't get the memo, man. The Lord said his temple, his dwelling is not made with with man's hands, man. Okay. So, hey, man, we got the memo. We got the understanding and the prophetic sayings of the Lord, man. He gave us heads up already what to look for, man. You know. So let's go back. I don't want to go too far into that. You know, this is Luke 21, because we coming into what things to come. You know, Lord putting us on game on what to look for. For His coming, or what to look for in the end times, man. All right, when the Lord come and destroy this place, man. All right, it says, I'm gonna go to yeah, yeah. Verse 7, it says, and they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass, man? So they was asking, man, hey, what could we pretty much look out for? You know what I'm saying? When this is about to happen, you know? So that's what they were inquiring. It says, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them, man. He's saying, listen, man, it's gonna be people coming in my name, claiming that they, the anointed, man. Okay? Claiming that they got the way, you know. But he said, man, listen, don't even follow after them. And they wouldn't follow after them even if they wanted to. The scriptures say, man, hey, my sheep hear my voice. It said, and another, they will not follow, man. Okay? Let me prove that. This is John. That's it. Wait. John 10 and 27. But I'm going to start at I'm going to start at 24. It says, then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be the Hamashiach, tell us plainly. It said, Yahushua answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. All right. It says, the works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. Okay. It says, hey, yeah, because hey, the Lord was saying pretty much, hey, if you don't believe me, hey, believe me for the very work's sake, man. But you got some who didn't believe at all, man. They seen the miracles that the Lord was performing, man. All right. But Jake wants you to pull a fucking rabbit out of their hat, out of his hat, man, to make them a believer, man. You see? But if you had the discernment in the eyes to see and the ears to hear, wisdom, you'll know that the Lord came in the volume of the book, man. You see, the whole book was written of the Lord. Okay? And the miracles are a lot of the miracles that the Lord performed, hey, man, really couldn't be really contained in this script, in these books, man. You see? But you got to have faith and sight and vision, you see what I'm saying, to see that, man. All right? But it says, I told you and believe not. It says, the works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. And he always, did it in Yahweh's name, man. All right? It says, but ye believe not. It says, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. Yeah, because the Lord, the men of the Lord or the women of the Lord, man, don't need to see no miraculous miracle to know that the Lord is there, because we see the Lord in the small, minuscule things within our lives, man. You see? So we don't really need to see nothing spectacular, even though he do certain things in some in some men's or women's lives. You see what I'm saying, to confirm them, if that need be. But they believed since the beginning, man. Okay, and it was only a matter of time that they was going to, you know, put off the world. You know what I'm saying, and put on Yahweh Shai, man. The Lord chose to wake up each and every one of us, you see, in a different time, in these times, but in a different time, man. You see? That's why he's going to go into it. He said, but ye believe not because you are not of my sheep, I said unto you. It says, my sheep hear my voice, man. You see? It says, and I know them, and they follow me. You see? So, hey, we heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai, man. And guess what? We going to follow him. You see? No matter what. The Lord has put that tone sound within our minds to where we know, it's like a trigger. We're going to know, that's the truth, man. You see? Hey, we're gonna say, hey, something gonna in our mind. Hey, this is the way. Walk ye in it. Don't turn to the left. Don't go over there to them gimmicky people. Who always marching. You see what I'm saying? And try to use every gimmick to bring in followers. All right. The truth is gimmicky. This word is gimmicky in itself. If you have the spirit to know. But Lord didn't need gimmicks, man. You see what I'm saying? Because he prophesied this word, man, to the fullest, man, like no other. Okay? It says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand, man. No. You see? Because the Lord got a tight grasp, you see what I'm saying? Or a tight grip on his elect, and it's 1/3. Okay. It says, my Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hands, and I, my Father, are one. You see? So, yeah, man. Hey, the Lord has already predestined us. You see, his elect. Lord willing, we be of that elect, all right, to wake up, to his word, all right, and follow his word, man. Okay, we're going to go back to Luke 21. It says, verse 9, it says, Luke 21:9, it says, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions. And this is why I'm saying this is prophetic as well, too. You see, and this relates to this time, because this is what we're seeing in these times, man. You see, at that time when the Lord was speaking of, the temple, being trodden down, that was history, that formed into 68 AD, 69 AD, 70 AD, when Jerusalem was trodden down by the Gentiles, okay, and the temple was rent, and the temple was destroyed, okay, and Jerusalem was destroyed and taken over by the Gentiles, man. All right. But these times, you're hearing, the same, man. What the Gentiles or these other heathen nations are in our land, claiming to be the people, man. Okay. Blaspheming the Lord, man. The name of the Lord, man. And his works. Okay. So now we are in these times, where they're going to try to come down on us. All right. But the Lord is going to lift up that standard, man. Okay. But we in the times Well, the Lord put us on game and let us know, hey man, look here, this is gonna happen, man. You know, this was gonna happen, man. This is what's gonna happen. This is what you need to look out for. It says, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come first to pass, but the end is not by and by. Hey, the Lord said, man, look here, man. The end is not yet, man. You should hear of wars and rumors of wars. All right. These are the beginning. All right. Of sorrows. These are the beginning of we in the end, but this is the beginning of the end. You see? Let's look up this word commotions, man. You know? This word commotions goes into instability, a state of disorder. All right? Disturbance, confusion. Let's see what it said in the root. Unstable, unconstant, restless. You see? Let's go to the etymon and see what it says. Oh, I got a crazy stuff. Commotion. You know? And we seeing that now, man. Uproars of the people. It says commotion, a violent movement or agitation. Yeah, the people, on the earth are agitated, man. You see right now they over there in Tel Aviv, rioting. They over there, all across the earth you see uprising, commotion, man. Rioting, mutiny. Okay. Because they are seeing how the earth is being ran. All right, and a lot of the people are fed up with the filth and the wickedness that's being allowed. Why? Because the wicked is in authority, man. The scriptures say, what's that? Proverb 29, all right, and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, man. Okay, and that's why you see all these commotions and uproars of the people, okay, upon the face of the earth, man. Okay, it said violent movement or agitation, emotional disturbance, all right. It says violent motion, okay, you get the point, and wait till that comes, and you got a little skirmishes over here and there, in America, but it's not on a full scale, man. But wait till that comes, to America, man. You see, man, it's this place, where you got the right to bear arms, man. This place gonna turn inside out, man. You see, it's gonna be death all around, everywhere you turn, man. You see, it says, but when you shall hear of wars, and you hear the wars, man, you see Russia still at war with Ukraine. All right. Then you got Israel and America. You see what I'm saying? At war with Iran. Okay. And Russia is allies to Iran. China is allies to Iran. You see? North Korea, okay? So the Lord is gathering these nations together, man, and getting ready to judge these other nations, man, for what they did to us, okay? But nevertheless, we're not at the end, but we in the end. We in the beginning stages of it, man. You see? So this is the things that the Lord told us to look out for, man. You see these wars, man. We see these rumors of wars, man. You see? So all this is we're seeing, and this is why I named it what? Things to come, man. The Lord gave us a heads up on the things to come, man. Okay? And gave us what to look out for. Hey, look here, to know that his coming is very near, man. Okay? So we need to get our houses in order, and adorn ourselves spiritually, and store up that oil, which is this word and this wisdom, all right, before the coming of the Lord. So when the Lord come here and send that death angel, you'll have that mark of exemption, man. Okay? You have a spiritual blood of Yahweh Shai on your doorposts of your minds, man. And the Lord will pass over you once again, you know, and won't cause that death to come upon you, man. Just like in ancient times in ancient Egypt, man. When we were in Egypt. This is why we commemorate, the Passover, because at that time the Lord, passed over, all the houses who had the blood of the lamb, you see, over their doorposts, man. But this time it's parabolically, but it's spiritually, but it meant, the same thing. Because Yahweh Shai was that sacrificial lamb. All right. And the blood that he shed was really for his elect, man. Okay. And with that blood, we'll be, we'll be healed, man. We'll be protected. Okay. We'll be saved, man. So that blood has to be sprinkled within our minds and our spirit, man. You see, through this word. Okay. It says, verse 10, things to come. All right. It says, then said he unto them, nations shall rise against nations. You can see that all through the, all through the, all through the earth. Okay. We see America, everybody going against America now, man. It's fucking whore, man. Because they starting to see the filthiness of this whore, man. An investigation or inquisition is very high, for the people who claim to be the chosen people in that land of Israel, the state of Israel. Okay. The man of sin is being revealed, man. Okay. So nation is rising up against nation, man, and kingdom against kingdom, man. And you seeing that all over, we in a warlike spirit. The scripture said in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it's a time and a place for everything under the sun, man. And these are the times of war, man, upon the face of the earth. Everybody is in a warlike spirit, man. Even down to in your house, man. It's war in your houses. You know what I'm saying? It's war in your workplace, in your jobs. All right. It's a war against everything, man. Every way you look, man. Okay. That's the spirit upon the face of the earth. At verse 11, it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places and famine. You can see the earthquakes, man. There's an earthquake every hour, man. Damn them, man. You just can't, till you get that earthquake app or Google how many earthquakes, you'll see, you'll be surprised on how many earthquakes happen in a day, man. You see that they don't report. All right. So, yeah, man, the Lord is real, man. The Lord is really coming back, man. It said, and earthquakes and shall be in diverse places and famines. As you can see, over there in Iran and Oman, they got, the rights to that Straits of Hormuz, man. All right. And it was a lot of water coming through there, a lot of goods, being imported and exported out throughout the Straits of Hormuz. All right. And guess what? Iran said, a lot of oil and gas. You see? Well, I would say oil. All right. And they over there, man. Hey, they controlling those straits, man. It was a lot of, goods being imported and exported from the Straits of Hormuz, man, across the whole, that supplied the whole earth, man. You see? So, hey, right now they controlling the market. You know what I'm saying? And then they putting the squeeze on the goods, man. Which is gonna be in return what? Go up on the gas prices. As you can see, gas and diesel now is ridiculous, man. You see? Which we truly believe, this is a worldwide forced famine, you know, because these devils is trying to, you know, issue in that NWO. We believe all these countries through the spirit. We speak as a man. All these countries, all these nations are in on the play. You know, okay, because this is going to be a worldwide uh, um, uh, famine, man. Don't forget these elites. Wanted a certain amount of people upon the face of the earth, man. You see, what's that? The Georgia Guidestones, where they wanted, 500 million or under 500 million, okay, inhabitants on the earth, so they can, control, okay. So, but nevertheless, man, famine, a major famine is here, man. You know, and how it's going to be a famine, man? You see these price gouges, you see these prices, you see what I'm saying, going up and up and up, through inflation. It's only a matter of time that this bubble gonna burst, man. All right. It said, and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall be there. Salaka shall there be from heaven, man. You see, you can see it in the heavens, man. You can see it in the sky, man. You get these blood moons happening frequently. You're getting certain signs of the chariot sightings, which the world calls them UFOs. But they're really the chariots of the Lord. All right, that's why the Lord said, "Be not dismayed at the signs of the heaven, man. For the heathen are dismayed at them, man." We know what our salvation, the Lord is going to use for our salvation, man, and to destroy this earth. All right. It says, but before all these things, before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you. Of course, as you can see, they gonna come down with great wrath, man. And our own people gonna deliver us up, man. Okay, no different than in the time of Yahweh Shai. All right. But the Lord said, "Hey, Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved up out of it, man." The Lord promised to save His very elect, man. Those who are predestined to be saved, and those who are predestined, to be put to death for the witness of Yahweh Shai. The Lord said the dead in Yahweh Shai are gonna rise first. Okay. Hey, so the Lord gonna cause them to be, to throw some of us in prison. The scriptures say, "Be now faithful unto death." And the Lord said He gonna give you a crown of life, man. It's that Revelations 3 and 10, 3 and 9. All right. All these things, the Lord told us it was gonna come, and they here. Okay. They here, and they're not tarrying. They're not tarrying, man. We're back in chapter 2. So, that's what's going on, man. You see a nation, kingdom against kingdom, We seeing these things, and you know what? All of them is happening at once, man. World War III is happening. The Revelation 13:16, the MOTB is happening. You know, they're setting up, you know, the infrastructure for it. It really is already set up, man. You know, it's just the right FF, you know, false F. You get what I'm trying to say, or F flag. You get it. It has to happen, man. Okay, the right event has to happen, you know, for these devils to try to implement that thing, man. Okay, and as you can see, it could either come through this war, all right, through an invasion or EMP attack, you know, whatever it may be, which we're not ignorant, to, you know, to the Lord, to Satan's devices. You see that shit, it's gonna come from within. You know, we're not ignorant to that. You know, now that things are coming out on a lot of events that happened, you know, that hey, these devils was a part of themselves, man. They'll destroy themselves if they have to, man, to prove a point. Okay. So we are in these times, man. We are in these times, man. You know, and I'm telling you, man, the Lord is on his way, man. Okay. Let me read down. It says, verse 12, it says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, man. You see? And that's why the Lord gonna crown his elect, man. You know, for standing so stiffly for the name of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, man. You see, these are the things we got to, you know, the elect, hopefully elect, got to look for. You know, being crowned with immortality, man. Being crowned with rulership over our enemies, man. Okay? Because we standing so stiffly in a time where it is not popular to stand stiffly, man. Or to have faith. Man, they gonna try to throw us in prison. You know, gonna try to make us an offender of just for a word, just because we speaking the truth. All right. It said, and it shall turn to you for a testimony. All right. Settle it, therefore, in your hearts. It says not to meditate before what you shall answer. Yeah, because the Lord, well, he's gonna go into it. It says, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist, man. And the Lord is starting with us with that now, man. You can't resist, you know what I'm saying, the information and the prophecies that the men of the Lord, you know, the prophets been prophesying, you know, since, man, for a long time now, man. And now it's coming to pass. Now, the prophets ain't no conspiracy theorists no more, man. You see? Hey, now we're starting to look like men of the Lord, because why? We've been saying, you know, starting with apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone on down. You know, now we've been saying that these things were happening or going to happen, and now they happening. We've been telling them, hey, look here, you mean your government just sold you out, man. You see what I'm saying? Your own people, man. They didn't believe it, man. But these diehard, red-blooded Americans, they starting to believe that shit now, man. They starting to see. Hey, look at Tucker Carlson, man. Tucker Carlson got a big following, man. There's a lot of people who feel just like how he feel, you know? Hey, the Constitution ain't being upheld, in America. Hey, Esau is in a mess, man. These other nations, they are in a mess right now, man, and so be it, man. You know, so be it. Let it burn, man. Let these devils and let these, heathen nations, man, let these motherfuckers, destroy themselves, man. You see? These are the times where we sit back and let the Lord, do his work, man. Okay? That's it, man. It says, "For I will give you a mouth of wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist." It says, "And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsmen and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death." You see that? Yeah, man. Scriptures say, man, a man's foes are they of his own household, man. So, expect, your family, your wife, your kids, whatever, to turn your ass in, man. If the Lord got the spirit on them to do. You see? That's gonna come from all angles, man. You see? It says, "And you should be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not a hair of your head perish." You see that? The Lord is definitely going, to protect his very elect, man. And it said, "In your patience possess ye your souls." I mean, that's all we got, man. All right? All we got is the faith, to be able to, wait on the Lord, man, and be patient. Okay? And we're going to try to keep our spirit and our faith while we waiting on the Lord, man. That's all we got, man. You see? All right? So now it's going to go into the downtrodden of Jerusalem. So I'm going to stop right there, in 70 AD. So I'm going to stop right there. But that fit, for the times that we are in now. You see? Let me get Mark 3. We're in a time, these devils finna, it's a civil war on this land, man. You see? This is Mark chapter 3 in the NLT. All right? I'm going to start at verse 23. It says, Yahweh Shai called them over. I'm in the NLT as well. And responded with an illustration. He said, "How can Satan cast out Satan, man? How could somebody wicked say somebody else is wicked? You see what I'm saying? Hey, how deep is your wickedness, though? Because it is, even though you wicked, if you wicked, you're wicked. But you can see, if, like I mentioned, Tucker Carlson, he's exposing the genuineness of the people who saying they are certain people and they're not really those people. You see? And he's starting to see, because you still got some, Christian base or Bible base, even though they're not doing it according to the truth, but they still hold on to the religion of Christianity, and some of that religion, they got morals, man. A little, but what little morals that they do have, and they're starting to see that the ones who's starting all the trouble, I would say, hey man, they ain't got no morals, man. They're not the chosen. They starting to see that, man. You see? They're starting to see them as frauds, man. Because now they're starting to get the history of the 1948ers, man. Okay? So much so, man, hey, a lot of them is calling for blood tests, man. Doing the what you call that? What you call that shit with motherfucker? Oh man, trying to find out where they come from. Brothers and sisters know what I'm talking about. They're starting to see, trying to ask for history, like a genealogy history, man. I forget the name, man. It slipped my mind. You see? So, yeah, man. Hey, hey, they starting to, Satan cast out Satan, man. You know? Okay? It said a kingdom divided by civil war will collapse, man. This is what you're seeing, you know, America on the brink of, man. All right, this is pretty much what you're seeing right now in the petrodollar. The petrodollar is starting to be, it's starting to, even though it holds a little strength still now, but hey, the petrodollar is really waning, man. Okay, it's losing control and losing power in the market, in the oil market, man. Okay. Because these other nations, they formed an alliance called the BRICS, you see, and these other nations, through China, of course, you know what I'm saying, has found a way, to go around, the greenback, man, the American dollar, man. Okay, now these other nations are trading, with real commodities, man, with real resources, gold, because that gold, and those other precious stones and metals, hey, these other nations are backing up their money with that, man, while America is still on that fiat currency, man. Well, really, it's just a promissory note, you know what I'm saying, to pay, and they're giving you the perception that you have, a certain amount of gold or silver or whatever, when really it's really that fiat shit is a fraud, man. And these other nations are starting to, find that out, man. They're starting to find out that, that shit is a fraud, man. Okay. So what happened? What is happening is you're starting to see, the collapse first of the dollar, or the morals, the morals for sure, of America and these other nations, man. But mainly America, Hey, the dollar is collapsing. And eventually, man, hey, it's gonna be all hell on it, on the soils of America, man. You see? Why? Because they're too divided, man. And eventually, they're going to be divided by civil war, man. They're starting to see, these Americans, are starting to see, the lies that their government has told them, man. Has been a part of, man. And then once they hit that war, just like in Tel Aviv right now, right now they can't even find, the prime minister, man. You see? They can't even find BB and CC whining, man. So it's either two things that happen. One, hey, he it's been talks that Iran said he's been assassinated. Or two, he actually deserted his people, man. Okay. They wrote them a check that they ass can't cash, man, when they fuck around and invaded Iran, man. Tried to, at least. You see? Iran said, man, they've been preparing for the invasion of America in Israel for about 30 years now. You see? So them boys ready to go to war, man. You picked on the wrong motherfuckers, man. You picked on prophecy, man. Somebody who was, prophesied, you see, to give you a fight, man. Along with the people that's in alliance with them, man. Okay. Yeah. So the Lord, hey, man, we at the end, man. You see. So yeah, man, we at the end. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse, man. Okay. It says, verse 25. Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart, man. Okay, you see the Democrats and you see the Republicans, which really is two wings on the same bird, you know. But that's how this devil rules, man. Order out of chaos, man. Okay, that's how Satan, because he's in the spirit of Satan, man. All right, where divided, if a place stay divided, the rich ruling elite, they can conquer you, man. Okay, that polarization type of mentality, man. Okay, it says 26, and if Satan is divided and fight against himself, how can it stand? He would never survive. You see that? And neither are they meant to survive, man. You know? They're not meant to survive, man. Yeah. I'm done with that. Let me get Isaiah 19. We'll probably end off at 2nd Ezra 9. Something like that. You know? It's Isaiah 19, a message about Egypt. You see that? And now we're in a place where it's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, man. Okay, Revelations 11 and 8. All right. So this is spiritual Egypt. This is spiritual Babylon. This is spiritual Assyria. This is spiritual Rome. Rome all over. Okay? This is a melting pot of wickedness, man. Melting pot of idol worship, man. Okay? So you're gonna see, you're gonna see, this place being destroyed, man. Okay? Let me get it in. Let me get in the KJV. Yep. It says, I'm gonna start at 1. So this is a message to Egypt, man, which is really America. Okay? Why is it known as Egypt? Because, hey, man, this is a place where we served rigorous servitude and bondage, man, and slavery, man. Okay? It says, the burden of Egypt. It says, behold, the Lord Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud. And that swift cloud is a chariot, man. All right? What the world calls a UFO. It said, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. It says, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right. And that heart really is the central force. All right. To where the Lord is going to cause all things to cease. And man, if your heart give out on you, man, shit, you done. You see? It says, and it will, it's like, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, man. You're going to see, the ones who are at league with, America, looking at them like, man, America, you tripping, man. Going around, without getting counsel and without getting authorized to do certain things, invading, their allies' land, or at least threatening to invade it, what Greenland, you see, Hey, America is rogue right now, man. That's why these other nations gonna turn on them, turn on America, man, and fight America, man. Okay? It says, and the spirit, verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to idols and to charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. And that's exactly what they doing, man. You know, they're summoning Satan, man. You know? Okay? That's why in Isaiah 47 it's going it goes into that around verse 10. All right? They're going to trust in their enchantments and trust in their sorcery, man. But hey, that shit ain't going to work this time, man. Why? Because the spirit of the Lord is on his way, man. What did it say? Hey, the Lord ride upon a swift cloud, man. Okay? The Lord is visiting the earth from which he made, man. Okay? And the closer the Lord, is near, the more he's going to put, confusion within the ranks. Okay? It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hands of a cruel Lord. And we believe that cruel Lord, it starts with Trump, man. It don't start with him, but hey, Trump, man, is a cruel motherfucker, man. And he proud as hell, That's why we believe we in these times. It said, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord. The Lord, Yahweh of hosts, man. Hey, because the Lord is the host of armies, man. And the Lord is putting the spirit on these other nations and their armies, to be in the warlike spirit. Okay? So eventually, man, hey, this all gonna end soon, man. Okay? So let me go to 2nd Ezra 9, and I'm gonna close this thing on up. Second Ezra 9, verse 1. It said, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, man. And this is what we're doing. And how do you measure the time? And you measure it with prophecy, man. Okay? You measure this time with prophecy, man. Okay? What you're doing is you're seeing if things are adding up, man. You measuring twice and you cutting once. You see? To make a true prediction of when the Lord said he was going to come. Okay? So like, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to see something. That's why it's important, to measure it with the measuring tape that the Lord put out here for us to measure it with, man, which is prophecy. Prophecy is the measuring tape. It's the ruler. It's the tape measure, man. Spiritual tape measure. So now we seeing all these things in place, and now we're at the end, man. So it's time to get our houses in order, man. For the very elect. And time for our deliverance. But to the wicked and to these other nations and our enemies, hey, it's time for them to be destroyed, man. Okay? The time is drawing very near. It says, therefore, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people of the world. And this echoes the sentiment of Matthew 24. All right? Where the Lord said there's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, man. Okay? We at the end. and uproars of the people of the world, guess what, man? Them uproars is going into those commotions that I was speaking of. Okay? You see? This is where we at, man. You know? In prophecy, this is where we at. Okay? It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yeah, the Lord, hey, because he declared the end from the beginning, man. You see? And he told us how it was going to play out, and it's playing out just like how he told us, man. You know? Hey, this is where, hey, you gain more respect for the Lord, man. Because he's a man of his word. He's a man that he should not lie. All right? It says, let me see. It said, for like as all that is made in the world had the beginning and an end, and the end is being made manifest, man. You see? Yeah, because these prophecies are speaking now, man. And it's being made very clear on what the Lord said he was going to do, who he was going to do it for, why he doing it. You see? All these things. It says, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and the wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. You see? It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, faith without works is being dead alone. It says, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, from the dangers, and see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. You see that? The Lord has predestined his elect. All right? And he has sanctified us from the beginning, man. Like we read earlier, man. And John, man. Hey, none of ours are lost, man. None will be plucked out of his hand. Another voice they will not follow, man. Which means the elect. Okay? Because the Lord has already sanctified us from the beginning. Okay? But this is the others, man. This is the ones who don't have that mark of exemption. Okay? Verse 9. Then they should be in a pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Man, the Lord promised to have you, if you rejected the word of the Lord, hey, you're going to dwell in torment, man. You're going to be tormented in your mind, plagued in the mind. Okay? It said, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. You know? Yeah, you got this word, man. You had the opportunity to be called to the wedding feast. All right? But yet you rejected the advances, man. You rejected the invitation. Okay? It says, and they that have loathed my law while they yet had liberty, the Lord gave you a grace period. It says, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. You see, you hated the correction and the rebuke of the Lord. It says, the same must know it after death by pain, man. You know, you're going to feel that shit, you know? Why? Because the Lord gave you heads up on what was going to happen through the prophets. Out here giving you heads up on what was to come, but yet you're rejecting the Lord's law. You're rejecting the correction. You're rejecting the advances that the Lord's trying to, save you, man. But you so stuck in your iniquities and stuck in your sin, the way you can't see help even when it's in front of your face. Okay? Which really goes into your unbelief. Okay? 2 Ezra 15:1. Behold, Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And that's these prophecies, man. Because we understand Yahweh Shai is in the spirit, is behind the workings of these prophecies, man. Okay? And so what we're doing, we're prophesying to you, as vessels of the Lord, as trumpets of the Lord. All right? Letting you know what's to come, what's going to come before it comes. And now we're seeing these prophecies to be faithful and true, man. The things that we're reading in these scriptures, man. Verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that spake against thee. All right? Don't let the unbelief of somebody saying the Lord ain't coming or that ain't what it is or well, we finna have peace or, well, America will jump back to this right, to the America that it was, make America great. Nah, man. You see? Nah, America is promised to be destroyed, man. Thus says the scriptures, man. You see? Hey, we finna get saved, man. Lord willing, we be of that number. So we don't care if, an unbeliever don't believe. We don't care. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Verse 4. It says, but, verse 5 now, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, man. You can see all that right now, and it's going to get worse. Okay? You can see all that right now, but it's going to get worse. It's for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, said the Lord Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth upon unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually, man. And that's, the just of the Lord, man. Man, we out here sighing and crying for all the abominations that be done in the midst of this wicked kingdom, man. That we in the middle of. And we crying unto the Lord, praying and begging unto the Lord to come deliver us, man, from this hellhole, man. Okay? It says, and therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. You see that? The Lord promised to save his very elect, man. Okay? It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter, and I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. All right? It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. You see that? And will destroy all the land thereof. You see that? That's how you know it's not talking about ancient Egypt, man. This has to be a prophetic spiritual Egypt that this is talking about right now. So all the botches and the plagues that Egypt had, America has got, and it's going to be more. You see? It said, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that the Most High Power shall bring upon it. Okay? It says that they that till the ground shall mourn, and for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful consolation, man. You see? Because you used to be able to tell when rain was going to come, when your crops, back in the days, through the heavens, how the stars and everything was aligned, all right? But none of that, is going to bring forth fruit anymore, man. Okay? It says, woe to the world and to them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, man. That's that commotion. All right. That's that uprising. That's that sedition. We seeing that now, man. That's the spirit that's on the earth right now, man. It says, for there shall be sedition, all right, among men and invading one another, okay? They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. Hey, and rightfully so, man. Their kings, these leaders, man, these prime ministers, these presidents, have sold out their own people, man. So it's only right in their hands and their minds, they think they're going to get up a little vengeance, take up vengeance with their leaders, man. Okay? It's going to be all hell out here, man. All out warfare. Okay? And these American people, they going to want answers, man. You see? It said, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. Yeah, the city's going to be on lockdown, man. Okay? It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So what's that to say for you so-called strong women? If a man is going to be crouching down, in a fetal position, how you think you going to be? This where Isaiah 4:1 going to kick in, man. All right? 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, saying we should eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. All they want to do is be called by your name. They just want protection in those times. You proud ass women out there who's not taking heed of this word, who's disrespecting, disobeying your head. Okay? You're going to wish you had that in these times. And these times are here. It really can break any moment now. Okay? That's why I always say in my head, man, a man of the Lord is going to be like a precious gold, fine gold in them times, man. Okay? It says, a man shall have no pity. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. The modern day sword is the what? You know what? That rifle, man. All right? And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, which is that famine, and for great tribulation, man. All right? So the Lord ain't playing, man. You know what I mean? The Lord is when he says it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And it's happening. And these are the things to come. Shalom.